What's going on, ladies and gents? Rocco Brown here. I got a few minutes, so we're gonna knock out this video. The downside of continuous travel that no one talks about. So I'm gonna take you through a quick apartment tour really quickly. Bear with me, it is relevant to this video. And we're gonna go from there. It's a little loud. Really quickly, I am going to put the camera down because I don't want to showcase my actual complex, nor do I want to showcase the security on staff, so bear with me. Hold on one moment. Okay, there we go. So you never know who is watching, and you never know what their intentions are. So with that being said, I definitely don't want to showcase exactly where I'm at and where I'm looking at this point in time, just for those purposes. So really quickly, I got security at the front, doorman as well. The elevators, they are key card activated, so when you get on the elevator, you cannot hit a floor. You have to actually swipe your key card. It takes everybody to their designated floors, and you go from there. So after we go through this quick little tour, then we'll get into the main purpose of the video. Yet again, this does play into the purpose of the video, my overall point. But we'll dive into that momentarily. Okay. There we go. Let's see. Key card. Okay. Let me use my other key card. There we go. Yeah, so I'm on the 21st floor. That doesn't really mean too much if you don't know where I'm at, so that's a plus. But really quickly, definitely a nice spot. I'm a fan. Definitely a fan. Goes up to 31 floors. I was offered a penthouse place. Well, I'm told actually anything beyond 20 is like a penthouse spot. But it's just a matter of, do you want that higher up view per se? And I was good. I didn't really need that myself. So, a little dark. Let's get inside. Okay. So I just got done signing the lease to this particular place 2 days ago. So we're gonna do a quick little walkthrough really quickly. And then we're going to get into specifics as to what I really want to talk about, okay? But this is relevant to the video. So I don't know if any of you are familiar with a Chinese style toilet. That's what the bad boy looks like. All of this stuff that you see, minus the laptop on the table and the Xbox, and of course my little bags here, was included with the apartment. So the fridge, air conditioning unit, I just had the internet company come out and set the fiber optics up for me yesterday. So we got that situated. The couch, table, TV, entertainment system, outside sink, because all cool kids have outside sinks, so why not? It does work. Oh wow, it's time for a cut. I'm breaking out too. No bueno. The view, a lot better at night. I actually enjoy it at nighttime. It's not a bad view. This is what we got going on. And let me shut this. Bed, king size bed. The sheets didn't come with it. I ran out and grabbed some sheets, made up the bed before I started cutting the video. 2 drawers, and then We have a nice little closet space. So this bad boy here, just running down quick. We'll get into numbers momentarily. Let's get into the overall concept of what I want to cover. So I don't watch many travel videos on people who make videos like myself. You know, they're traveling continuously. They're going to different places, locations, and you know, knocking out reviews, things of that nature. So I don't watch many of them, but there are a few users that I truly enjoy. The one issue that bothers me is that most people, or at least none that I've seen, ever make any videos concerning the difficulties that you run into when you travel continuously, right? So all of the video reviews, even mine, most of the things that you see or you hear are positive. It's positive, it's good information. But just like anything else in life, there's two sides to every story, there's two sides to every coin. And there are a lot of downfalls that come with the traveling continuously aspect. So I just wanted to make a video to quickly highlight not those things. I'm just going to give you one instance, an example, or one instance that I've been dealing with for the last 3.5 weeks to 4 weeks. And if you decide to start traveling continuously, you may deal with something more severe, you may deal with something less severe. Everyone's experience is going to be different. So let's take it from the top. If you watched my witnessing Chiang Mai video, or witnessing Chiang Mai, Thailand through my eyes video, at the very beginning of the video, you noticed that it was raining non-stop. I had made reference to it because it had been raining for the last 9 days straight. 9 days prior to that, there was a typhoon that hit. So generally speaking, it can rain very, very bad up to, so I'm told it can rain very bad up to 2 weeks after a typhoon hits. And that particular typhoon took place end of June, beginning of July, or no, mid-July. Is when that typhoon took place, mid-July, end of July, and that bad boy had been raining. So 9 days later, I looked, I said, let me get a ticket, let me get out of here. So that was the reason I went to Thailand from Jump Street. So I was in Thailand for about 3 weeks. So I get back from Thailand. At this point in time, the typhoon had stopped, right? So I get back from Thailand and I get to my apartment around 3 a.m., 3:30 a.m. Not this apartment, my other apartment, okay? So I get back to my apartment and open up the door. Of course, all the lights are off. I open up the door and I'm hit with the most extreme smell of mildew. You like that moldy, mildew, dirty, wet smell, right? So I open up the door and I'm already like, what is about to take place? Because it's obviously coming from my apartment. So I go inside, I turn on the lights. Before I can take 2 steps into my apartment, I look on the ground and the floor is filled with dark brown, like rust marks. You know how when you have water dry up somewhere and it creates like a brownish residue? Well, my whole floor was covered in this brownish residue. And not only that, I still had puddles on my floor. So we'll say 80% of the floor has this brownish residue of water that was already dried up, ton of water. And then I still have puddles on the floor in these different locations. That doesn't include, there's paint all on my floor, right? Not wet paint as in paint falling out the can. Paint as in paint off of my walls, right? So I have paint all on my floor. So now that prompts me to look up at the walls. About 40, maybe 50% of my walls throughout the entire apartment is bare. All of the paint had came rushing down off the wall, fell off the wall, and it's sitting on the floor with puddles, brown residue, and sheets of paint, okay? So I'm sitting there like, oh, this is getting better and better. Don't worry, it gets even better. So guess what has replaced the paint? Mold. So I have mold all on my walls, everywhere. Paint on the floor, brown residue, etc., etc. So it's 3:30 a.m., 3 a.m., 3:30 a.m. I'm tired, right? I can't go to sleep because I have mold everywhere, right? I don't want to ingest this in. I don't want to breathe this in. It's too early to contact anyone to actually assist me with getting things in order, right? So all of my bilingual, friends, male and female that I know who speaks amazing English and of course amazing Mandarin, it's too early to contact anybody. So my first thought, looking at all of this, I picked my bags up and I'm getting ready to leave back out. I was getting ready to head back to the airport. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, Rock, no, we gotta nip this in the butt now. I really don't feel like dealing with it, but I called up, I reached out and went back down to go get a taxi, and I was like, no, go back upstairs. So I go back upstairs, I literally stand there and just look at the clock until 8 o'clock. I'm not going to sleep, I'm not sitting down nowhere, there's really nowhere for me to even maneuver in my apartment without agitating myself anymore. So 8 o'clock rolls around, I reach out to everyone that I know, at least 7, 8 people, speak fluent English, of course, and Mandarin. And they, in turn, tell me that, Rock, we're sorry, but we're all on vacation. Bear in mind, this is, at this point in time, by the time I get back, is mid-August, right? So this is the 13th, 14th of August when I get back to my apartment. So everybody's on vacation, right? So I don't speak Mandarin or Cantonese, right? So I can't even begin to put together the words to try to explain to the landlord what's going on, right? So I reach out, I'm using my translator app. I reach out to the landlord via WeChat to let them know of the situation and what's going on. The landlord says, oh, Rock, I'm sorry, but I'm on vacation too. Right? Well, okay, can you have maintenance come? Well, Rock, I'm sorry, maintenance is on vacation too. So, I'm not one to get angry. If I do, it's a very bad day for all parties involved. But I do get agitated, right? There are certain things that do agitate me. And I'm not agitated. I wasn't agitated with the landlord, because you have to understand, anywhere you go in the world, there are different cultures, right? This is part of the culture. I'm not in the U.S., so I'm not mad at the landlord. I'm not mad at maintenance. I would have liked for things to be more convenient, but I'm mad at myself for not speaking Mandarin or Cantonese. Because after the landlord told me that he won't be back for another 2 weeks until the end of August, and maintenance won't be back until the end of August, right? Bear in mind, this is August 13th, 14th. No one's coming back until August 30th, right? So we're talking literally another 15 days. So I'm agitated and frustrated at myself that I don't speak Mandarin or Cantonese, because, well, I could at least reach out to a cleaning company and a paint company to have someone come in and clean the apartment from top to bottom, and have someone come in and paint my walls again, right? I'm mad at me, not mad at anybody else. So after going through the back and forth of 2 hours worth of not being able to get any assistance, I run down to the local supermarket and I grab about 30 bottles of bleach, right? Because obviously it's not going to get done if I don't do it myself. So I run downstairs, I get these, run over to the local supermarket, come back with 30 bottles of bleach, literally. Rubber gloves, scouring pads, the whole shebang, and I scrub the apartment down from top to bottom, literally. Mold, everything. I'm scrubbing for the next 48 hours straight, right? So, as I told you, it gets better, right? So, during my cleaning, right, during this scrubbing and cleaning and all of this, After I get the floor cleaned up, scrubbed down, bleached, I get the visible places of where the mold is at, bleached, scrubbed down. One of the areas that I'm scrubbing at is near my dresser, right? Near my clothes, like my clothes dresser, similar to that in my own apartment. So I'm scrubbing, not paying attention. I accidentally bump into my dresser, right? I hear what sounds like a whole sheet of glass come down and break. So I'm like, I don't have any glass in this dresser. What is going on here? I move the dresser back, right, to see, because it sounded like it fell behind the dresser. So I moved the dresser back. That area of the wall, the dresser sits directly to the wall. The area of the wall looks like a rainforest. It's covered in mold, right? So you can already imagine where this is going. Not only the wall is covered in mold, the whole back of the dresser is covered in mold, right? So if the back of the dresser is covered in mold, you can imagine what the inside of the dresser looks like, covered in mold. So quick brief pause just to help you catch you up to speed, because I realized I didn't tell you exactly what happened. So similar to this place, right? I live on the 21st floor here. I just signed my lease here. In my other apartment complex, I lived on the top floor, right? So very tip top, beautiful view, beautiful place, right? Well, when this typhoon, the typhoon hit, there was so much flooding, rainwater, and wind that it caused damage to the structural part of the roof. So all of that rain collected, and then apparently after I left, the floodgates just burst open. So the rainwater and the flood water seeped through the roof, seeped into the walls, and then started drying. More water came, it dried, more water came, it dried, more water came, it dried, right? So like I said, it rained for about 12, 13 days with that particular typhoon after that typhoon took place. So by day 11, day number 12, I'm already gone. Apparently the water had literally softened up the roof and the wall so much that the water started seeping through, which caused the paint to fall off the wall, which caused then in turn the mold to form and take place and pop up on the wall. So all of that water leaked through the ceiling, different places in the ceiling, through the walls, caused a big problem for me. Okay, so let's get back to where things get better. So inside of the dresser, I look inside the dresser. This is where all of my remaining possessions were that I did not take with me on my trip, right? All of my remaining clothes covered in mold, right? My entertainment system, my other laptop, but not just clothes. All of my other stuff is covered in mold. So at this point in time, I'm heated because I can't wash this myself. I need an actual cleaners to go have this clean and accommodated for. The closest cleaners is about 10 minutes away. Bear in mind, I don't have a vehicle out here, so I walk everywhere, right? So 10 minutes back and forth, I'm on the top floor. I'm taking trash bags of clothes back and forth. Okay, wanted to wait until all the commotion ended until we picked things back up. So I took all of my clothes that I had in the closet, threw them in the trash bags, took it down to the laundry facility, or the cleaners, and I had the cleaners run my clothes not once, not twice, but 3 times for each set of clothes. Now I don't have a lot of stuff, alright, but as I mentioned, I wanted to make sure things were thoroughly clean just to see if I could even salvage it, right? I had been gone for over 20 days, and I don't know how long that mold had been sitting and or growing on my clothes. So I had to pay money to have everything dry clean 3 times for each piece and article of clothing, just to see what could be salvaged. In the event it couldn't be salvaged, I had to throw it away and replace it. So all of that after dry cleaning, replacing items, etc., that came to $350 USD. So I was not a happy camper at all. So bear in mind, I just got things back over the course of those 7 days to some sort of normalcy. Clothes were in order. What I wasn't already replacing had already been dry cleaned. I had to get a new closet, because closet space was messed up. I couldn't. The closet was so bad, right, that it couldn't even be cleaned. You could touch it, the back of the closet, at any given area, and by simply touching it with no force, you would poke a hole through the entire closet. That's how brittle everything was. It was that bad. So I had to get a new closet. Had to replace my clothes. As I mentioned, all of that came to about 350 USD. So all of this took place within 7 days of my return. Bear in mind, I've only been back in Shenzhen per se for the last 3.5, 4 weeks now. So that was week 1, and this is the end of. We're still not even at the end of August yet. This is the third out of the 4th week of August, right? So no one has come back yet to paint the walls. No one has come back to officially clean the mold. Everything that I've done has been on my own. All right. Guess what happens day number 8? We get hit with another typhoon. Okay. Another typhoon comes, equally as bad. Right. The only difference is this time I was around to actually take preventative measures. So the water still seeped through the walls. Right, water still came through the ceiling, but I was here to actually dry it up and, take preventative measures so things didn't dry badly and start molding again, right? So 2 more days of flooding. These 2 days go past, another warning comes, and we get hit with another typhoon. I was like, I'm sick of this. I can't keep doing this at all. I still haven't had things repaired from typhoon number 1. We're on typhoon number 3 right now, right? So I'm like, this is getting real old real quick. So reached out to the real estate agent where we're at right now. Reached out to the real estate agent, and I let the real estate agent know, beautiful young lady, spoke pretty decent English. Let her know my parameters, what I was looking for, and I asked her to find me something immediately. So she came back same day. We looked at 2 places. There was one before this that I liked, but it was decent, but it didn't meet all of my criteria. So we went to that place, checked it out. We then came here. I like this place, pretty decent, good to go. So I decided to go with this bad boy. Right now, in China, there's a law for foreigners, okay? The reason you heard me say real estate agent, didn't misspeak. I don't know if it's a law for all citizens or not, but for all foreigners have to use a real estate agent to get a place, apartment and or house, right? So even if I was able to speak fluent Mandarin or Cantonese, I couldn't go answer an ad for the landlord and say, hey, I see you have this place available to rent. I would like to rent it. No, you have to go through an official real estate agent. So very similar to back in America, right? You have most of the time it's 1 month security deposit, maybe 2 months security deposit and 1 month rent, right? In China, it's 1 month, 2 months security deposit and first month's rent. So in total, that costs 3 months of rent, whether you want to call it security deposit, whatever. All the places that you'll come across, 90% of them, at least in this area, I can't speak for all of China, right? But in this area, I'm still in Yantian. So in this area, you're still looking at 3 months upfront of rent, and the cost of commission, you have to pay the commission to the real estate agent, is half of 1 month's rent. So in total, all of this cost me to step foot in this place, sign my lease, walk in here, cost $1,500, right? A little bit more, about $1,530, but I'm rounding down just to keep the numbers simple. Over the last 3 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, I've come out of pocket, not including other necessities, not including other living lifestyle, things that I spend money on, just this problem. The whole purpose of the video, this problem has cost me $1,850 USD and counting. Yet again, $1,850 USD and counting. Not too thrilled, right? But I want you to understand that it's not just China. Anywhere you go, like I mentioned, this is a travel, the downside of continuous travel that no one talks about, because the stories and things like this do happen, but you have to be flexible and you have to be willing to adapt, right? That's just what it comes down to, right? That I'm not even going to go into the amount of time that the last place has robbed from me, right? And yet again, I'm not mad at them. It's just cultural differences, right? So bear in mind, this is $1,850 in counting, right? I'm still moving things. That I haven't stopped the bleeding totally. I've just slowed down the bleeding, right? So there are things that come, with moving. There are things that I have to furnish the new place with. I'll put numbers here just while we're on the topic, just to give you an idea of what something like this would cost you in Yantian. But this cost me 2,900 RMB per month. I'll put the translation to what that is beneath. It's about 400 and some change. And then all utilities, so that's gas, electric, water, my fiber optics, internet, all of that runs another 500 RMB, which is about, we'll say 76, 77 USD dollars per month. So literally all of this in totality, everything, the rent, all of my utilities, everything runs about 520, 530 USD per month, right? Beautiful, like you can't really beat it. So just to give you an idea of what something like this would run you. But yet again, that's neither here nor there. Like I said, I'll put actual and accurate numbers below. So that pretty much sums it up, ladies and gents. I just want you to understand that things are not all rosy. That's just one of the many stories I have in the last 5 months of being abroad, in this place, that place. And that's probably not even the worst story, right? I'm not one to complain, so you will never hear any bad things come out of my mouth in regards to these other situations and issues. The only reason why I'm telling you this one is because I'm trying to make a point and give you a bounce, right? I don't want you to think that getting out here, whether it's China, wherever, that everything is just always going to be sunshine. No. You have to be willing to adapt. You have to understand that each country, each city, each location holds its own culture, and it's not going to be the same as what you're used to back home, right? So yet again, flexible and be willing to adapt. So as always, it's a pleasure touching base with you. I hope this video is beneficial. I hope it's informative, and I hope it just gives you, some insight to the other side of the spectrum. So yeah, that pretty much covers it. Be on the lookout for the next video, which will probably be the true cost of living in Chiang Mai, Thailand. And I'm gonna get back to slowing down some more of this bleeding. I'll talk to you soon.